Today is December 13th, 2019. I'm Ramon Gonzalez Moseglio. I'm going to talk about what the perpetrators are doing, like, worldwide. They're getting everybody fat because they're putting telepathy on them, and they're trying to drag them out to the stores all the time so that they can look for women. In doing so, they mess up the whole entire planet. All the Americans are fat, and the planet is literally falling apart because they're creating machineries to make more money, to get more women, and not taking care of the planet. More plastic goes in the ocean, kills all the fish, and all that stuff. It comes back onto the land. So a whole man trafficking women all day with his buddies, or Freemasons, or whatever they're trafficking. I don't know who. There's a bunch of different people that they're feeding women, but we don't know. They could be doctors, lawyers, or whatever the hell. The politicians, or especially the politicians, they feed. That's why when you file a complaint, the politicians, I don't know what you're talking about. So they are literally tearing down the land just to get women. And where there's fat people, there's a sign of a perp. This is how you can detect. I only eat twice a day. If I get hungry after, twice a day, like I eat a big breakfast and then I eat dinner or lunch. And if I get hungry after that, then that's a perpetrator. Like, I don't want to eat after that. They got my relative. She's one of my relatives is completely overweight. Like, what they deplete her money. Like, she's poor. It's not because she's unwise with the money, because she's always feeding and they're always eating it. So they get the people that eat to overeat, so that they can keep going out to the stores, so somebody can look for women and scout for women. They get shop to your drop type of females. They want them always. They probably want it with cancer, because they ram in their brains all the time. If you go out a lot, then they'll probably give you cancer. This is the problem, because when they follow the people, they get sick. If you gotta keep going to the store, they're gonna follow you to look for women, and then they don't hurt the women. They just scout off the person's head. They also, I forget what I was gonna say, that they're hitting my jaw. There's a dude that I was gonna say something about. Well, I'll just when I remember, I'll remember. It's like there's some dude next to a jawbone. These are facts. That means that if they hit my jawbone, then these are facts. He's trying to get me to forget. But all the plastic, all the it comes from the industries trying to make money, and they. I'm not saying every company is doing that, but like trafficking women, but there's they want the people to buy, and the homeland say, look, I'll get you to sell. I'll help you sell your product, and then the company owner might say, hey, okay, that sounds cool, and then he'll get people to shop, and they buy your product. And the ocean and the planet is getting ruined because the homeland wants to really scout for women, and then to cover it up, they want to mass murder the rest of the people who are fully aware. So you just gotta eat twice a day especially if you're a fat American. You gotta eat twice a day. Twice a day, and anything beyond that, don't eat past twice a day, because you really don't. They say 3 meals a day. You don't really need 3 meals a day, and I guess do a lot of housework, cleaning and walking, and I know sometimes in the winter you gotta stay home, but you just got because but you can clean and you could do some woodworking. Don't sit and watch television. That's another thing. If you watch live television, they start communicating off your head. The more TV you watch, live television, the more brain damage you get. They just told me video games. They were squeezing my head when I was playing video games. Like they want to be first all the time, so they just. I was playing Twisted Metal, Sony PlayStation Classic, and they were, I was beating the game, and then they were squeezing my head, causing pain, so that it won't, so I lose, and they just want to be first somehow. These perpetrators want to be first all the time. Though I think I'm gonna leave this as a short message. It's I'm gonna just document what they've been doing to me. They've been popping my neck still, trying to change my height. Other than that, my father is going on vacation, but I don't want to talk about that. He's going to the States on vacation. They are plotting to frame me. My lips are turning purple, and I want to make this also about my lips, and if your lips are purple, I'm going to flash images of celebrities who died, and they right before they die, or before you die, a sign of close to death is your lips turn purple. So this is about, if you're fat, that means they want to traffic you to the store. When you get sick, your lips turn purple, and you get cancer from the pings in your head, or them coding and squeezing your brain to code for women, or they do a lot of bad things to people. There's a homeland with a satellite weapon who pings people to get other people sick, and he wants to look for women. That's the main route. Trafficking, you can link everything to trafficking. Every problem of the world, like Donald Trump and those presidents, they rape women overseas, and then the whole planet, they rape Arabs, and then they get pissed off. The Arabs get pissed off, and then they say, "Oh, stop those terrorists!" After those type of guys rape women, and then you gotta fight for peace and all that. That's they're full of it basically. So just the lips. If your lips are turning purple, then it's a sign that you're close to death. I had known my aunt's husband, who died a few months ago. His name was Larry Asea. He was Cuban. He died from. They said he had cancer, but he was. I think he was V2K, but I'm not 100% sure because he never. Because the people. He was very old. He was born in the 40s. So he died of cancer. His lips are totally dark. If they turn really dark, I'm gonna flash pictures, and you'll see, and you probably see the pictures of these celebrities. Either it turns completely white. One time I had a co-worker at NYPD School Safety Division. He says, "I don't feel well," and he had this completely pale. His lips are very pale. He a few weeks ago, later, not a weeks ago, it was years ago, he died. He was like, he just died. Like, they said, "Oh, that dude died," and I remember his lips were completely white, and he says, "I don't feel well." And I have that feeling also, the same, like, sometimes I you get sick. It's mostly the jaw clicking, the vibrations in my skull, and the neck popping. They really did a lot of damage to my neck. So the clicking on the jaw, it swells they also hit my nostrils. They try to make my nose bigger to make me look like my brother, who has a big tattoo on his neck. so that they can, and they pretend I live in other locations. I live in Mocha, Puerto Rico since 2013. I recently changed my PO box from the PO box number to my address, which is 10 Calle Miraflores, Mocha, Puerto Rico. Zip code is 00676. So if you write that, Ramon Gonzalez, then I would get the mail. That's my new mailing address. The perpetrator, like, just now was typing something, and he pretends that I live at my father's beach house. I don't live there. I don't live there at all. So they like to pretend I'm different nationalities, or my brother, or some people that have tattoos. Mostly everybody has tattoos. I don't have any tattoos. Basically, they do a bunch. They play stupid a lot. They play and then they want to rape women and then blame you, who's dying, whose lips are purple. And I haven't had sex since 2013. Since 2013, I haven't been with a female. I mean, I dated briefly dated a female, but I didn't have sex with her. I think 2 females I briefly dated, but I didn't have sex with them after 2013. But I didn't have sex with her. So they can't blame me for anything. So I don't plan to, I'm not planning to be with a female. I'm not looking for females because I'm very ill. It's like a cancer patient. You don't want to look for females. I'm going to leave this at 15 minutes. Though, be very careful. Don't eat sugar. Keep away from sugar. A target individual you get sicker with sugar if you intake sugar, like you drink soda. Only drink water, and keep the food that you buy at 2%, 2 grams of sugar lower. But if you could put it lower, then lower. Stay away from anything that makes you sick, like anything that causes density in the blood. It could be pills, something that you take. If it causes you to get sick, stay away from it. You live longer to get tortured by sex traffickers who are, you gotta expose them. Of course, I try to do the best I can, but I'm getting weaker, and my content is, that might be a sign, not keeping up with yourself, or it's a sign that, or people not reporting online or YouTube or Facebook is a sign that they're very, they can't. I did, my best of documenting, but I can only do it sporadically. I'm still gonna make drawings and put them on there, but I can't make the YouTubes as free. I do it like every 3 months or so. So if your lips start turning purple, look at your older photos. Also, if you're a new victim, take pictures of your face and your skull. Because they start denting it, and it shows evidence that the damages they cause. They make excuses. They make a lot of excuses, and never trust politicians or some of, like the FBI and police department or whatever. Some of them are right, but some of them are highly retarded. Like military, they're stupid. They want to attack you for them trafficking women. So they like right now they just forced a nose, like a heavy breathing code that they use to code to each other. So it means something to them, to their organized criminal activity. What they don't tell you is that my father's a lotto winner, and they're after his money, to steal his money, and they're killing me, Ramon Gonzalez Morsiglio, the firstborn of Jose Ramon Gonzalez Badillo and Lisa Morsiglio Iglesias. They're killing the firstborn, was born in 1972, and the perpetrator, they pretend my age is other, they like to pretend I was born 10 years after I was born. that's basically what they do. I was born 1972, April 9th. Uh, they they like tamper with my age. I look young, but I have gray hair. I have a lot of gray hair in my beard. I look like 30 years old, 35. But in person, I look young. But they're doing what I find that they're doing a lot is popping my wrist. They don't like me turning on my photo editing app. I use Photo Impact or Corel Draw or Corel Paint, and I like to draw digital artwork. They freeze it all the time, and it's a form of tampering with my identity. And then they take everything out of content. All my like if I make an error, he lives in such and such. Just get a document and file complaints. That's all they're doing. They've been doing that. My joints, they've been popping them like crazy. They're trying to get me to gain weight to make me look like somebody else. Because when I'm thin, I look like Orlando Bloom or somebody, Enrique Iglesias or Clint Eastwood, an actor or something like that. When I'm thin, and I'm not sure what their motives are. Is to blame me for somebody else, or because mostly everybody's fat, and I like to do things like clean the yard and garden, and so it just comes off. The weight comes off, and I don't eat sugar, and they're trying to constantly get me to gain weight. So it's like a weight battle, not to get women or anything, because I'm already thin, but they're just trying to swell up my face more to change my identity, and and then they're gonna blame me for somebody else's crimes when they do. I don't have any tattoos. I have a beauty mark like Robert De Niro. I got freckles on my shoulder and my nose, and they just disregard that because my father has freckles all over his face. He's Puerto Rican. He's born in Mocha, Puerto Rico. And perps like to pretend that I'm 100% Puerto Rican because my mother's Puerto Rican. My grandparents are Puerto Rican, so I'm 100%. They like to tamper with that 100% daily still, and they constantly do it in the V2K realm. I'm gonna cut this short. When I said I'm gonna cut this short, I sense a perpetrator's coding. I never slept with a minor as an adult. So FYI, meaning when I was 18, I think there's a politician or there's somebody who owes me a lot of money, doesn't want to pay me, and they use the pipeline of a homeland to attack me. And that's what I believe. Like they're worth money, and they just decide to join a group of politicians and then to steal. They said, that's what I believe, and they don't want to pay me, so they paid off a homeland to kill me. And then it happens to be the son of a millionaire, or I don't know. I just don't know who's that stupid, or they have blackmailed people that choke their neighbors and kill them, and then I don't know what their thing is. Either they joined a politics. We don't like that guy. I don't know if they knew. My father was a lotto winner from 2002. He won $22 million, and they taxed him, and he got like 11 million. I don't know who. Like if they knew that information. We own land here in Puerto Rico. We're wealthy, basically wealthy, in multiple ways. Like he owns houses, but I'm not wealthy. I can't work. I collect disability, and they don't know this information, and they all decide to attack you, and that's a problem. The people that they attack, they might be worth money, or they're linked to somebody who's worth money. Like I don't have money. I only have like 17,000 in the bank. That's all I have. My father has more, and they just come after it. they scam my father for like, don't ever buy stock market or that Bitcoin thing, whatever. Don't buy that stuff. They scam people. It's a government scam. That's how you know. If you put money into it, they'll scam you. I'm gonna leave it like that. Don't ever, because he lost like I think 500,000 or 50 to 500,000. I don't know what the amount. The stock market is a scam. It just, the minute you put your money in it, you'll lose it, and they steal it. So don't ever. And then somebody always comes along. Oh, I have a friend that knows how to do. Don't believe them. That's one of the stupidest people. That if you never did it before, you can invest in buying a house, but they might kill you for the house. And no dudes that their firstborn sons, died of that so-called cancer, that they ping you to steal a house. I mean, it's a nice house. It's in a street, but you wouldn't kill a little kid. But these homelands will. They'll kill you for their houses. For your houses or what, your property or anything. So if you're wealthy, I suggest you move every 5 years so that they don't get a good look at your house. Because if they want your house, they're gonna kill your relatives or anybody who. That's how or they're gonna try to marry into your daughter while blocking on a nice male that would probably like your daughter. They would probably kill them. Depending on how much money the daughter was gonna marry somebody she would be in love with, they would kill the person. If it's it could be an owner of a business or something like that. So that's how they are. They watch you, and then I'm a former NYPD, no criminal record. I get accused of child molestation, murder, rape, and all this. I never did any of that stuff. As an adult, I mean, when I was a teenager, I was with younger females. But as an adult, I never. There's somebody, a politician or actor or whatever, I don't know who it is. They're accusing me of. I don't know who it is. It's Army General, probably an Army General, one of those. They keep accusing me, and they're playing stupid in a group of people. I don't know who it is, but they're hurting. They're killing people. They kill actors, and they've been doing that for a very long time. That you just gotta warn everybody. I'm gonna cut it off. That's it for now. Goodbye.